I don't want to rub it in too much that I do an English degree, but I do an English degree, which is all about communication. I'd like to think that I am almost able to string a sentence together, and that helps. That's what communication's all about. Representation-wise, I don't think that that's something that necessarily requires experience. All it is taking what all you guys think and feel, getting that information from you, and then acting in accordance with it rather than against it. All you have to do is do what you think, you all think, and that's all representation is.
Okay. I think I've got two kind of examples of experience which is relevant to both things. The first one is representation. I was a head girl of school. I know a lot of people in this room are also heads of school and in various positions of responsibility, so that doesn't make me particularly special, but it was an experience of representation. It was an elected role, very much like this one is, and I was accountable back to my own year group and represented them to the senior management of school. The kind of communication bit of it, this summer I interned at HSBC in their global, one of their global departments, which meant communicating with people all over the world, negotiating things like time zones, a lot of stakeholder management, making sure that people were consulted in decisions. In the corporate world, it's very much, especially HSBC, which is very conservative in making, in how it goes about stuff. Everybody has to be consulted, and communicating there was a really big part of what I got on with.
I had the absolute delight last year of being a maths department rep, as some of you pointed out on my manifesto. Thrilling as it wasn't, I got the opportunity to be on a committee with all the members of the maths department and help in deciding policy for the maths department and how it progressed in terms of meeting the aims of the university. In a much more tangible way, which will have an effect on you, I have already met with the Deputy Warden of the university, the Master here, the Senior Tutor, Acting Senior Tutor Dave Robson. So on all levels, I am not only saying that I am going to start representing you if I get the job or when I get the job, but already. I've already done that, I've already started building those relationships. The Deputy Warden is interested in coming to do a talk here, as is a member of the SCR. Representing you to members of the MCR, SCR, higher management of the university is not something that will be new to me. In fact, it's something I'm already doing for you.
The two most enjoyable roles that I've held around college have been Open Day Rep and Freshers Rep. And as the name suggests, I felt like I was representing the college. On the Open Day, I was trying to give the best impression that I could, well, the most accurate impression that I could of what life was like here. And then in Freshers Week, I wanted people to know the sorts of traditions that we have here in Castle. I wanted to have them look at me and go, oh, so that's what people are like here in Castle. So moving on, communications-wise, over last summer I actually stayed up in Durham, living in the house that I live in now, and I worked for Event Durham, and I had various roles there, but my main task was to help organising the pre-application open days, and that was a bit of a nightmare at first, but it involved a lot of talking on the phone to lots of angry parents, and I developed my communication skills there.
One of my favourite jokes is a blonde joke. Thought it was apt. It is two blondes walking down the road, and one of them says, "Oh look, there's a dead bird," and the other one goes, "Where?"
This is so awful. It was what I did for rep. It is actually my favourite joke. This is really sad. Why did the chicken cross the playground? To get to the other slide.
Like all the best jokes, this is one I've directly nicked off a comedian. Crime in multi-storey car parks. It's wrong on so many different levels.
Knock, knock. I did up. Classic.
I think it's a very difficult thing to say that just because people are living out, that castle spirit doesn't exist. I think castle spirit is something which extends far beyond the walls here. It's something that if you're walking down the street in the viaduct and you see someone else from castle, you give them a cheeky smile because they're from castle. To continue the dubious theme of the question. Having said that, it's important, obviously, to work closely with the social chair to get events going, to bring people back in. And not only that, to work with other members of college to highlight areas that people might want to be coming back in for that they might not have realised were going on. I think the master wanting to do these different events, the Daniel Bell concert that's coming up, obviously it doesn't appeal to everyone, but people who might not have come back into college for the events the JCR puts on might come back in for that, might come back in for events the MCR put on with us, or the SCR. The SCR are interested in renewing the Castle lecture series, where they do a talk, a lecture once a term. I'm interested in having little anecdotal speeches at the start of formals, a bit like other colleges do. Whatever it takes to really get people enthused and excited, new things, different things, exciting things. That's what makes Castle Castle.
I think we have to be careful. There's not going to be drastically fewer third-year livers in Castle. It's just going to be a smaller percentage of the year that's living in. Just because the year is large doesn't mean we have significantly less rooms. If we have a very large freshers allocation, then we will have slightly less rooms. How am I going to try and get people to come into college? Well, JCR meetings have free pizzas. They should come in anyway. And I'm on the topic of room ballots and room allocations, I've decided if I became senior man, I would have an extraordinary meeting of the JCR outside of the usual meetings, where any member of the JCR would be able to propose a motion to change the fairness of the current system that we have in place. Anything that was deemed feasible by the exec could be put on the website and be voted on, and then we definitely have the fairest system in place. And as far as room ballots are concerned, this just seems like a good time to mention it. I would actually intend to have them done 5 weeks into the first term, if at all possible, based on a conservative estimate of the number of rooms we're going to have available. Thanks.
I think that what we've seen this year is that castle spirit, if you want to call it that, is very strong, because it's not that there are significantly fewer beds in college. There are very slightly fewer, but more people have applied for them, which means that more people feel so strongly about this place that they want to get involved as much as they can. I think that's a great thing for the community extending beyond just the livers in, because it means that the livers out feel like they want to be here. Hopefully that will mean they will come here a lot. They'll frequent the undie. They will go to formals as livers out and that sort of thing. It also means that there'll be a great demand if we want to put on things like livers out brunch, which was suggested last year, and I think I'd have loved to go to this year. Something that I've been speaking to some of you when I'm canvassing about is livers out seconds, which is something they do at John's in meal times. If you come in the last 15 minutes of a meal, you can clear up what's left for free. There's no reason not to do it if it's going to be thrown away anyway. And once people are in college, talking to people, coming here, seeing what a fantastic place it is again, just to remind themselves, then I think the livers out community will flourish.
I think we do have to take proactive steps because to redress the fact that lots of third years can't live in who want to. I mean, even if there are the same number as normally, but if more people are disappointed, you do run the risk of having kind of resentment and a bit of a disappointment within people, and it does need to be, but they need to feel that they are still people who can't get rooms, are still very much valued. I think the first step I'd take, or take in conjunction with the services manager, is to open up what is, I think, our defining tradition, which is formals. I realise that livers out formal is something which comes up kind of year on year. It definitely came up last year. And I don't feel as a liver out this year I've really been encouraged to come to formals. So I think what we should do is, at least for the people who were disappointed this year, the people who were missed off the ballot, that they should have access to sign up for formal as if they were living in. They should still pay their £5 because they haven't paid for formal, but you get to sign up as within that 100 or however many, 150, 160 spaces rather than the 20 quota, because then it is worth waking up for, and it's worth getting up in the morning at 8 because you feel you've got a good chance, or good as chance as any, and you do feel that enough people will get on that you can go with lots of your friends, which is also an important part of formal. What I would advocate, although the logistics would have to be worked out, I think maybe we should open Tuesday formal to all third years and finalists in that way, so that you can sign up whether you live in or out. Because Tuesday's not as popular anyway amongst freshers, definitely wasn't in my year, and I don't think it is this year. And it would be a good way of getting people to come into college. I think it would be really well received. Although it would reduce maybe, as a fresher, your odds of getting on because there's more people to let the same number of places, you would then get the opportunity in third year again, so it wouldn't necessarily, it would kind of even out, I think. But as I say, it is a services manager decision as well.